So, if I'm not mistaken, you don't drink, right? So you've been sober for a number of years now?
Yeah. I'm in August 24th, 2016 was my last drink.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
Well, first and foremost, good for you.
thanks.
Assuming that was a decision that you had to make for yourself. And I can only imagine that it could be challenging at times in this town um, to have that choice where I'm not going to drink alcohol and to be in a place where it's so readily available and celebrated.
Well, it kind of was at first.
Yeah,
Um, but I never really got that impression that it was more challenging to quit drinking here than it would have been anywhere else.
right,
I know Asheville is like beer city and has won a lot of awards, and there's a lot of breweries here.
right.
And some of my good friends like brew beers, and it's such a great craft. It's so great to see how that's evolved so quickly.
Sure.
Um, but no, it wasn't as big an issue because I always the support systems. You find a support system, and that helps a lot too. And you find people who understand where you're going from. But there's a lot of people who also just don't drink anyway.
Right.
So if you go to a club or you go to a show or something, like you're gonna gravitate towards those people who are like minded in that regard. Who like aren't. You can tell, when it's 3 a.m. and you're closing out at the bar, you can kind of tell who else in the bar hasn't had a drink
Right.
and usually chat because you want to have a coherent conversation
Yeah.
at that point. But it wasn't too much of an issue. But I had moved here from Nashville, Tennessee, where I think drinking is far more celebrated
Sure.
and abused.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have, I think, I never really got the impression like, oh, it's so hard to quit drinking here.
Right.
I never thought it was like something geographical.
Sure.
It was far too personal for that.
Sure.
Um, that being said, it was I did have a lot of skepticism and a lot of people who said I would never get sober being a musician.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Um,
sure.
yeah, just because you work in venues and you're around it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a superpower at the end of the night when you have to settle and you can still do math. And
Yeah.
I'm not very good at math, but if
So
I'm
you
the only
keep
one,
all of your abilities?
yeah, if I'm the one who has not been drinking, I turn into Einstein. I
Yeah, seriously.
feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you drink?
I do. I didn't drink until I turned 21. I was straight edge. I didn't drink, smoke, or anything until I was 21. And then 3 days after my 21st birthday, I had my first beer. And then I think just went completely tanked, totally downhill since. No, I'm being a little bit
Uh-huh.
facetious, but certainly have like found my experimentation later on in life,
Mm-hmm.
and have found, I think, a pretty healthy um routine, if you will, when it comes to drinking. Like, I definitely know what
Mm-hmm.
my limit is now.
Yeah.
um Alcoholism is something that runs pretty deep in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as I get older, I pay more and more attention to that and realize that there are components of that that are within me as well.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen this little, like, tiny monster of an addict that's come out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people may know what I'm talking about, but it's just like that little addictive personality that some people have. And I
Yeah.
can see the various times that mine's come out. And luckily, it's, knock on wood, it's been a little while. But anytime it does come out, I just definitely take note of it and realize, like, okay, that's something that's within me. I have to pay attention to that and um, not let myself get into any just unhealthy habits or anything that I wouldn't want to be doing more often, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that little voice. I mean, that's the disease of addiction itself.
Yeah,
And it's funny how it's like might associate it with drinking or like a substance abuse or something, but that's really just a symptom. It comes from the same place and just has a lot of darkness
right.
that and it vents itself in more ways than just that.